Three, two, one, right?
Welcome to the Thursday, August 6th, 2026, Thursdays with Mike edition. This is the Much Ado About Nothing edition because we don't have a topic. I have several things I want to talk about why July truly sucked for me. But first off, I just want to ask, the guy who has directed Shakespeare plays, what do you think about Much Ado About Nothing in the Shakespeare world?
Two things to correct. You're setting me up. Number one, I've not directed Shakespeare. And number two, um, I've really not read very much Shakespeare. Uh, so that makes that whole conversation moot.
Yeah, look, okay. Seconds before we started, he said, I've never read Much Ado About Nothing. And so that I was like, awesome. That's gold. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Um, so uh yeah. Anyhow, so then in the Much Ado About Nothing, let me just give you why July was a really terrible month for me. And I in the laundry list of things I can come up with quickly. Um, all of them are like when you see something and someone says those are first world problems, pretty much all the things I'm dealing with are things that there are literally a billion people on the planet that would love to have the problems I had in the past month. Okay, but let me just go through a few of them. Number one, my internet, to say it sucked in the past month is an understatement. 24 hours ago, right now, I was on a Zoom call with besties in America, and twice I got kicked out because my internet went out and had to come back in. Anyhow, some bad internet, high class problem. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I got food poisoning. I um okay. The most serious first world problem, which is legitimately serious. A good friend of mine, Tony Alt, Air Gallery in Cedar Rapids. If you are in Cedar Rapids and interested in art, stop by his gallery. One of my very best friends did me a favor to pay a bill in America that I don't have easy access to my bank in America. And so anyhow, he mailed a $2,000 check on my behalf, being a really good friend. And it turned out that the check got intercepted, scanned, and then cloned. And it's only because Tony has a business that he's done this enough times that he sent the check by priority mail or whatever, where you track everything, and that he took pictures of it before he sent it, and all the things I would never have thought to do, he did.
Yeah.
And then when his check got cloned, the bank immediately was like, you need to close out this account immediately to protect yourself, which he had to do. And because he owns a business, it ended up costing him more than $1,000. So I cost a good friend of mine more than $1,000 just because he did me a favor. And I'm like,
How how did the check get intercepted? It had to happen in the post office's hands, yes?
no, let's be clear. Let's be clear. The person who received the check, to say that person is shady is an understatement. It's unquestionably, I was like, I immediately was like, this is check fraud. I don't have any really good friends in the Virginia metro area of DC that I could call on to like go knock on their door. If this happened where I knew some people, anyhow, it's unquestionably check fraud, just unquestioned. And I'm like, so I was like, I'm sorry, Tony, you were doing me a favor. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyhow, again,
Bad month.
that's the problems I'm dealing with. A whole lot of people would love to have my problems. So yeah.
And I can't complain. We just got fiber optic installed. Uh, I just got new windows put in our bedroom and our sun porch. Had a tree taken out that I discovered had a cavity probably about 5 feet in length from the bottom of it to the top of it at least, and then some more rotting stuff because the squirrels had gotten into it and were gnawing it out to make a nest. And they cleared a cavity in a hickory that was probably 20 to 24 inches around, maybe more like 20 inches around, had about a 3-inch collar inside of living tree, but inside of that there was a cavity of about 6 feet. Um, some good things have happened other than the fiber optic. Now the line is laying on top of the grass, so I have to make sure if I ever, well, I need to go out and mow that I don't hit it with a
Yeah, that
lawnmower
would
and
be
that I
very
remember to
bad
pick it,
to take out your fiber
and that I
optic.
remember
Yeah.
to pick it up. Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
some good things have happened here. Yeah.
And
So I can
honestly, I think some good things have happened in Iowa. Since this is the much ado about nothing thing, I've been closely following politics, and I love the fact that Rob Sand is way ahead in Iowa, and the polling on the Senate race is mixed. I mean, just today, a poll came out that has Ashley Hinson up by 3, um, but there was a poll a couple days ago from Fox that had Josh Turk up by 4. So, yay!
that
And
and that
3 out of the
that was a
4.
Fox.
What?
That was a Fox. Oh, you just
Fox
froze. Oh, there.
Fox had Josh Turek up by 4. Emerson College came out today and has Ashley Ensign up by 3. They're both good polls. They both know how to do good polling. So I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's always interesting how you know if you, there are the pollsters out there that if you want to see how awesome Donald Trump is and still over 40% in approval rating, you can go to just escaped my name. Anyhow, there's one pollster out there that still has Trump above 40%. So, yeah.
Well, I guess we've taken a political turn to politics. That was interesting that news has come out. You probably heard that they're saying the weapons stockpile of the United States have been depleted greatly because we've been in this asymmetrical war, right? Iran is putting up what $1,000 drones, and we're sending up multi-$1,000
Yep.
anti-drone weapons and draining the arsenal. And of course, that news is out. And what did Trump come out and say today? Oh, we have got buku. We do not have any shortage. We've got more than we need. It's like
And
it's an alternate reality, and
let's
living in a
investigate
world
the
of alternate.
reporters. Let's investigate the reporters who reported it. I don't want to address the issue. I want to prosecute the reporters who reported it. Just like I want to arrest the 60-year-old Olympian who had nothing to do with the failure of the reflecting pool, but arresting him gets people away from looking at the fact I hired a frickin' moron who I'm friends with to do the job in the first place. So,
Well, you saw the statistics about Trump making what $2 billion already in this presidency. His net worth has gone up. It's such a corrupt thing. Um, I hope I live long enough to see Heather Cox Richardson praised for the accurate reporting that she does in her letters from an American daily that she writes. God, in the middle of the night, when does a woman sleep? But if you see her Substack, do you see her letters from an American?
it's I talk about turns in conversations. I'm happy we're having this turn because I think the woman needs a frickin' editor.
Heather
I
Cox
just
Richardson?
Yes, she can write 1,500 words where 200 words would do the job. I actually so again going to I so I really do appreciate the fantastic English teachers I had at Benton Community. I made this joke to Laura Bell, who shared it with her dad, and her dad's like, "Yeah." So I mean, anyhow, yeah,
Oh, I
I think
guess.
she's amazing, but like even I sometimes am like, couldn't you write this a little bit shorter? Really?
Yeah. But maybe see it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
You're retired.
But I'm not a great editor, I guess. But I think she's an academician. She's an academician.
Yeah.
And so she's writing as an academician. So she's, packing everything she can in there to get it for history and to save it. So anyway,
No.
interesting. We can
I
disagree on that.
agree
I think
with
we
her.
both
I've never
appreciate
read
what she
anything she's
does.
written that I disagree with. I agree with her for everything. But like all like 90% of the time I read one of her things and I'm like, oh my God, you could say this in 2 minutes instead of saying it in 200 words instead of saying it in 1,500 words. I just find it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
what do
will
you think of?
admit, there's sometimes I skim through paragraphs. Read the,
You're making my point.
yeah, your point. By the way, your feed is not working very well. Like your video is behind your voice sometimes. Your visual is freezing up. It must be
It'll be
your
interesting to see
internet
when
went
I
bad.
upload this. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Because again, I have really bad internet. To the point that as much as I hate Elon Musk, I am seriously considering putting one of his little Starlink things right outside because that's how bad my internet is. So this may be the worst video that I've ever uploaded just because I don't have good internet. So
Well, it's obvious on this end because you're talking and then there's no voice and then there's voice and then your face is freezing and there's voice. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
well, okay. So one more
But
turn. One more turn. Sorry, since I brought up Elon Musk, I have to say this. If there's something I've felt that's made the world feel like a better place in the past couple of weeks and blah 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 blah, it's that the world is finally waking up to the insanity of the AI bubble. And so the SpaceX stock, which let's be clear, SpaceX is not about going into space. It's not about Starlink. It's really about where I mean, it's two good companies, SpaceX and Starlink, wrapped in a giant pile of shit known as Grok AI. That's where the real money is going. And anyhow, and so when they did their earnings call a couple of days ago, initial pop up because Elon Musk is a great magician saying everything's awesome. Don't look behind the curtain. And then when people did look behind the curtain and read everything, they're like, oh, this is a disaster. And SpaceX stock continued to go down. And you have to take some small wins at times. I'm like, that's a win. Yay. Okay.
well, speaking of AI and so forth, Trump now has is selling immediate access to some of his Truth Social posts, so you
Yeah.
can get milliseconds ahead. Gee, sounds
Oh,
like selling influence, right? I'm manipulating a market. Market went up drastically in the last 2 days, was down, what, 400, 500 points at the end of today. I still wonder if he isn't pumping, if he isn't manipulating the market. Oh, we're good. We're going to open up, the oil is going to be flowing through. People get happy. They start buying stock.
the thousands of trades he's made is proof alone that he's manipulating the market. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not that's not a
well,
question at this point. That's a fact.
that his company, he says, well, I don't do it. I have managers that do all that. I wonder what information he's feeding his managers.
Well, I mean, but the answer to that is you just look at the trades. Before he goes out and says Dell is an amazing company, he buys a bunch of Dell. And then he goes out and says Dell is an amazing company. Before he goes out and says Palantir is going to save the world, he buys a bunch of Palantir. I mean, this isn't rocket science.
Yeah.
This is very open grift. It's open grift, and to
Yeah.
now take it to the next level. Hey, you want to because right now it's the people closest to him that are buying all the stuff and able to profit from it. Now he's just like, hey, pay me in advance, and you can have the opportunities that those who are closest to me have had. So, woohoo!
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's it's a corrupt world we live in, and it's being led by the commander of chaos. You know. And did you see that? I assume it's right that the president was asking all the servicemen for creative ideas how to deal with Iran. Um, uh,
Nothing,
if it's,
nothing,
I don't know if it's true
nothing
or not, but I'll
instills
believe it.
confidence. Nothing instills confidence more than your leader saying, "Yeah, I'm all out of ideas. Can you all come up with? Let's do a brainstorm here. Let's brainstorm. Nothing we've done has succeeded with Iran, so let's do a brainstorm. No bad ideas in a brainstorm. Give me your best." Yeah.
You know who suffers the most in that, I believe, are our military leaders. Why do they? Well, I don't know what they can do. They follow the
Well,
commands of the commander, but that they follow him, that they want to support him, they want to vote for him. Uh, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. And it may not only, it's even the enlisted people, the not necessarily the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and I don't know where they are, but when you hear that the military is supporting him, it's like, can't you understand what's happening here? He's called you losers. He said he can't understand what you do. He makes stupid comments like this, and he says we're fighting a war, but we don't know why, but then we do, but then we don't, but then it's all about nuclear. But what about all those other reasons he had to get there? Can't they see the guy as an idiot?
um, well, number one, several leaders have either been fired, demoted, left, blah blah blah. There are many
Yeah,
leaders who whatever, and disproportionately they are people of color or female. So I guess if you're a white straight person, cisgender straight person in the military, you're like yes. But for anyone else, yeah, no, yeah. So um.
yeah, I can't. And you're right about the forced retirements, the promotions that have been rejected and stopped to senior leadership positions. He's blocked multiple women, people of color from getting general ranks or advancing in the general ranks. For them to get there, the gate is very narrow when you start to well, it's very narrow every time you move up one. Get to be a colonel, pretty narrow gate. Get to be a star on your shoulder, general, really narrow gate.
Right.
They got some good things in there. There may be some people that don't deserve it. I don't know, but the people that are getting thrown out doesn't sound like they deserve that.
Oh, no, 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 no. I mean, again, all you have to do is look at Hegseth's decisions and put the pictures all up on a board, and you can easily there's which of these things are not like the other, and so yeah.
Yeah,
You have to be
yeah.
you have to be a white, straight general to be able to succeed in today's military under Hegseth. So
Hmm. Hmm. And
I'm
male.
surprised. It's so shocking that that lack of diversity led to some bad decision making. It like, you it's one of those things of in the world of management, I mean, it's a truism throughout every company that the more diverse the company is, the more diverse the company is in terms of its employees, in terms of its board, in terms of whatever, succeed way more than the companies who are not diverse. And the story I like to tell my students is goes back all the way to the 90s. That pay at the pump was something that Amoco, Standard Oil, blah blah blah. They were the first to try it out and the first to test it. And the board decided, no, we don't want to do this because people go into the stores and that's where they make their real money is when you go into the stores. And again, all male board. One of the executives walked out and and anyhow, his secretary who had taken notes, whatever, blah, 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 she was like, I would drive across town to go to a place that has pay at the pump so I don't have to get my kids all bundled up and have to what and so the lack of diversity, I mean, the moral of that story is that having some diversity on that board, they'd have made better decisions. And
Mhm.
most companies have learned that. Our military now is like, screw that. I only want straight white Christian, you know,
Male.
that's it.
Yeah, no DEI, no
Yeah.
diversity to whatever, to whatever. Yeah. And people who are well proven, not just people that have kind of gotten their ticket punched, and that happens. You get your ticket punched, you move forward. No, they're not only ticket punchers, they're people who've proven themselves are being thrown out of the military, blocked from promotion, getting passed over for promotion, which ends up in them, not making promotion, will end up in getting retired, forcibly retired. Can't remember what the term for it is. It's not RIF, not reduction in force. Gee, I used to know. It's when an officer doesn't move forward. And when they don't move forward, at some point they'll get released from active duty.
Yeah, you can only stay in this position so long. I don't remember the term either. I know what you're talking about, but yeah,
Yeah,
I had a cousin taken out for the same thing. He at whatever point he'd not get promoted and
yeah.
had to leave the military for that reason. So yeah.
And when I was in, I could have told you the term, but I'm just too far removed from it. So,
Well, and also you're a
yeah,
pinko lefty guy, so
yeah,
you might
well,
be a straight white Christian male, but somehow or another they'd smoke you out and you'd be removed too.
yeah. I was so disappointed. Mike Franken was a three-star admiral running against Grassley. And polling, they said 3 points. It's that 3 point. Can you get those last 3 points in the polls to move ahead? And he did not win. And my gosh, when you're a
He's
three-star admiral,
phenomenal. I've only met him once.
uh,
I only met him once, and I'm truly amazed by him.
yeah, and the circles he's been in. And I know you have questions about Colin Powell, but if you've read his book, the circles that he moved in, the people that he knocked rings with and so forth, those people at that general level, that 2-star, that 3-star, that 4-star level, they're bright people. They see things from a lot of different points of view. They've had a diversity of experience. Talk about diversity, broad experience. It gives them the ability to look at things. Mike Franken, he brought something to the Senate. I don't care that Grassley had been there 100 years and was 90
Yeah,
years old,
I
right?
I just my only regret is that he ran against Grassley. I mean, if you want to enter the wood chipper in Iowa politics, you run against Chuck Grassley. My wish is that he'd run against anyhow, that he'd
Yeah.
run for anything else. Chuck Grassley is the wood chipper of Iowa Democratic politics.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, going all the way back to, Grassley took out John Culver, and at anyhow, earlier in life, I became friends with John Culver's son, Chet, and Chet was not going to take on Chuck Grassley. He's like, my family did it once. I'm not. Basically, he said, I'm not entering the wood chipper. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, but I mean, yeah, Mike Franken, hands down, I think is like, I can't think of anybody we've put up for the Senate more qualified than him on
Hmm.
on either side. He wasn't Joni Ernst. Yeah, anyhow, I have real problems with people who, oh, I spent a little time in the military so I can cosplay as military. I don't know. That to me, that's Joni Ernst. Like she anyhow, I think she, yeah.
Well, I can't. What did she retire as? Was she a colonel in the Guard? And she
I
did serve on. She did some time on active duty.
I don't
Uh,
I'll plead ignorance on this. I don't know her background, but I do
yeah, I
know
don't.
that I do know that like veterans, like the Veterans Affairs people did not endorse her. So you can have a military background, but when the people who have served and lead veterans organizations are not willing to endorse you, that says something.
It says something, and you've got to remember she was the woman that campaigned on. Yes, when I was a kid, we had to put bread bags, plastic bread bags over our feet
Yeah,
and put
the
them on the
bread
inside of
bag.
our shoes to keep
Oh,
our feet
that.
dry, or
Oh,
so forth.
oh, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. That went viral around the world. And so I had friends literally from a half dozen different countries sending that to me and asking, "Did you really wear plastic bread, whatever, on your shoes?" I'm like, No. And I don't know anybody who did. And that she made Iowa look more frickin' hickish with that thing. Her anyhow, it made Iowa look so unbelievably stupid. It angers me big time. So
And then the other part of that campaign was I'm going to make him squeal,
yeah,
right? With
no,
the
that was
pigs.
good politics. I grew up on a pig farm. I know how to make them, whatever. That was good politics. And I mean, that's how she got
Other than
elected. The pig squealing is
well,
what got her elected. The plastic bread shoes thing
oh,
just made us all look stupid.
but that whole thing about squealing is if she sees corruption, she should make those people squeal, regardless of policy. I'm sorry,
Yep.
regardless of party. But she doesn't. She blows smoke up Trump's patootie. She's a brown noser. She refuses to buck him on anything, along with Chuck Grassley. You ain't making anybody squeal, sweetheart.
I give Chuck a pass for a lot of reasons because Chuck is Chuck, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But Joni, I don't give a pass to because there are a couple of other retiring or booted senators. And let's be clear, Joni is
You
not
just froze
retiring.
up.
She knew full well that she was not going to win the Republican nomination because Donald Trump didn't like her. So she quit because she knew she really had no choice. She has not shown even an inch of a backbone after announcing she's not going to run again. And all that says to me is when she's out, she has a lucrative career as a lobbyist ahead of her. Because because nobody will oppose her, Anyhow, she has a lucrative career ahead of her, and she's decided that any oath she took in the military, any oath she took to the Constitution for the military and or the Senate, wave it all goodbye. I'm going to make a shit ton of money next year.
Yeah, yeah. And you're right about uh, the, it just burns my butt. Both she and Grassley and every other senator, including the Democrats, have sworn to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. January 6th absolutely told us who the domestic adversaries were. And what's
You
happened?
you do
Crickets.
not understand that those January 6th rioters were patriots and that the real domestic terrorist in January of 2020 was Dr. Fauci. He's the guy who deserves to be in jail. He's the guy that should be like suffer every hanged in public. I have no idea how you possibly can have any issue with those January 6th patriots, but not have any issue with the guy who caused the real terror to America that year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And oh, by the way, we're going to hold him in contempt for asserting his Fifth Amendment rights. And so, what are we going to do? Charge him for pleading the Fifth and including about the color of his tie and the color of the carpet. Uh,
Which, by the
and what
record, for the
make it
record, for the record, I have had enough law classes that I know that you have to not disclose the color of your tie. When you claim Fifth Amendment, you can't then selectively start answering questions. And given the number of lawyers who were on that panel, they knew that. You can't when you claim Fifth Amendment, you can't be okay. Fifth Amendment here, yes, I'm wearing a blue shirt. You can't do that. That's that's the rules of Fifth Amendment. Once you start answering, you can't not answer. So the lawyers on the panel knew that. I mean, to say that was grandstanding is an understatement. That was pure cosplay for the MAGA base, um,
Mhm. Well,
including
including the
including
senator that
multiple
said,
friends of mine that they. I mean, the number of things I've seen shared about how this man needs to be hung publicly by friends of mine, and I'm like, really? Really? Really?
yeah, yeah. Well, and Senator, I mean, we've degraded, honestly, the current occupant of the White House, his orangeness, um, has degraded the level of oral communication to the point that you've got a senator in a hearing saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are?"
Oh, the same senator who's not able to call out his son-in-law for breaking the collarbone of his granddaughter and abusing his daughter. Great senator.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he has called him out. He has called him
he
out.
has now, but he
Yeah.
wasn't. He has. Okay, what's the phrase? Too little, too late. He called him out after
Too little,
he
too
got
late.
called out for not doing it, and he called him out after the filing deadline that his son-in-law is going to remain on the ballot in Ohio. So yeah. Um, it-
Who
like,
claims it's okay because look at Trump. Trump
yeah,
did some bad stuff and people voted him in, so I guess I can do bad stuff and let people vote me in.
yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why what if your standard bearer couldn't be the standard bearer after saying he likes to grab women by their genitals, then you know, I how can this guy be bad? And
Katie bar the door. It's okay.
well, it's we live in a weird world, but I feel good about that race only because I think Sherrod Brown is a god, and I feel more happy and confident about Ohio switching than I am most of the other races. So I don't know if you have any friends back there, if they have any take, but are you there?
And you've totally frozen up now. Am I coming
Okay.
through? Yeah, I am. Are you
I had a
there?
messy stable unstable connection. So anyhow, long story short, I have hope for Ohio. I really do.
Yeah, you are. I hope Michigan can do it. You may get the progressive end of the Democratic Party. Just you just died.
Kill your video.
Hello.
Let's end this with just audio. So
Video is off.
yep, I am
Uh,
with you.
I was just
I
gonna say,
actually the Michigan race I would have voted for Dr. Abdul Sayed because he did after he lost to Gretchen Whitmer. Um, he started doing a podcast, and I listened to his podcast for I don't know 2 years, however long it ran. I listened to every episode, and I found the guy to not only be, I just found him to be refreshingly great in so many ways. And so, yeah, I'd vote for. I think he's awesome, and I think the attacks on him that, oh my God, we can't have the Muslim Democrat, which Trump tweeted today, is going to backfire. I feel pretty confident on his race.
well,
So,
well, I don't disagree that he's a good candidate, would bring good things. I'm afraid the labeling, while it may help him earn the Democratic nomination, may not play in a general election. That a more middle of the road candidate might play better in a middle election, in a midterm election. If I just misspoke about that, in the midterm election, to get the general population to support him, I have a concern.
yeah. And I mean, in all truth, Haley Stevens won the swing vote, and he won the strong Democratic vote. So that
Yeah,
argument's there, but she didn't make the argument very well. Number one, number two, uh, the ads that ran for her against him were 11 to 1, including $32 million from APAC against him. So APAC is definitely going to go all in against him in the general election. But I actually in Michigan, that might actually work to his favor. You can't saying you're beholden to Benjamin Netanyahu that, Michigan has the highest Muslim population, number one. Number
yeah.
two, among good Democrats, telling me that somebody's the APAC candidate makes me not want to like you. I think
Well,
Netanyahu is evil. So
from your lips to God's ears.
yeah, I think Haley Stevens would have been a fantastic candidate. I don't, or notwithstanding the APAC and whatever, but again, $60 million in one primary race spent on her
Yeah,
behalf. And
yeah.
I was going to say you're old enough. Yeah, you are old enough. You were my teacher. Um, Steve Sovereign back in 1980 ran to be a congressman in Iowa, and his big platform item was there's too much money in politics.
Huh. And look where we are today.
Well, I mean, now it's like he was right in 1980, and now yeah, $60 million in 1980. Neither Ronald Reagan nor Jimmy Carter spent $60 million in 1980. And yes, of course, $1980 don't translate, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But let's make it clear. We've now entered a world where one primary race cost more money than running for president back in the day. So, ugh. Life is weird. What's the good
Life
news
is
in your
weird.
world? Let's end on a good note. What's good news in your world?
Good news in my world. We've been having rain, but I don't think we've been having so much. It's washing things out. It's keeping things green. Iowa is beautiful right now
Yep.
because we did not have the dry June when the corn was coming up. We've had rain in July. The cornfields are gorgeous, and so you can drive down the road. And for those of you who live in Iowa, you know what it's talking about. If you've never seen it, you don't know. Uh, Although people from Bragg all of a sudden discovered the beauty of Iowa, looking at those neatly sculpted waterways where you've got tall corn and then short grass in waterways. It's a beautiful sight. Um, it's every state has its own beauty, and Iowa is resplendent in its emerald green variety right now.
That's awesome. And I agree with you. Ragbri, I think, is like one of the best ad campaigns that Iowa could possibly have. So,
And with that, let me give a shout out to Len Radin. Len is a friend of mine that I got to know when I was working in Thespians. He was a chapter director for the Thespian Society in Massachusetts. Len is 79 years old, just wrote his sixth Ragbri. And
wow.
we always look for the route because if there's a town near here, then I will go meet him. And we have discovered actually a fairly easy way to do that. First couple were a little iffy about how do we get together, uh, but we've only missed I think one, which was the horrible hot summer when they went through Coralville. I figured it would just be too crazy in the big city. Much easier to go to Dyersville and Anamosa and other small towns and connect. Uh, but he's discovered the beauty of Iowa and comments about that. And at 79, riding his bike across the state, God love him.
That's
He's doing
impressive.
a great thing.
I, yeah, that's awesome. Then that's a great place to end this on. So I will, last thoughts before I end the recording.
Hey, have a good one. Summer's almost done. What, 3 weeks till school starts here in Iowa. Some schools are already back. Make the most of it and enjoy whatever's happening over there in the UAE. Hopefully, you can appreciate some cool weather once in a while or in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, my dog's upset with me because we didn't go for our normal 5 a.m. walk. But anyhow, that's a good place to end. And all I can do right now, as you mentioned the coming back to school, is I picture the Staples commercial of the parents all very happy to buy all the school supplies for their children to have them go off back to school.
They don't play that ad anymore, but it's a great one. Yes.
I think it's a classic, and I'm gonna put it in the show notes of this or whatever. I think it's a classic ad. So anyhow, on
Okay.
that, bye everybody. Hopefully see
Until
you
next
next week
week.
where we talk
Bye-bye.
about something more serious.